Welcome back, friends. I'm Burke with Shared Science in Long Beach, California, where creative kids dive into STEM fun. This is Lesson 5 of Python Bytes, where you'll learn about reading, writing, and saving files on your computer. You should have completed Lessons 0 through 4 before you continue. Still here? Good. If you haven't already, open Replit in your browser. By the end of Lesson 4, you had created your first list in Python and learned how to sort it in several ways. Let's have a look at the homework from Lesson 4. Don't worry about typing this in, just watch for a minute. Your objective was to write a program that asks the user for 5 numbers, and then put them in a list, sort smallest to largest, and print them. There are faster ways to do this, but the most straightforward method is to collect the numbers from input statements, add them to a list, and sort the list before printing it. See? Nice and easy. I'm lazy, so I only did 3 instead of 5. But what if you want to change something? Let's run, and we'll collect the numbers. 58, 14, and 9. 9, 14, 58. So it works, but where's the list? If I type here to clean up the printout, what's going to happen? I'm going to have to print the list in again. 58, my age, 14, my shoe size, and 9, my emotional maturity. So, what happens to the list? Well, everything your computer does is temporarily stored in your computer's memory. So the lists it creates disappear when the program completes. This is the circle of life. It's the yin and the yang, the beginning and the end. Well, okay, I'm getting carried away. How can you save your work so that you can use it later? By saving it to a file. You already know what files are, right? When you write a paper for school, you save it as a document file. PDFs are files, so are pictures and programs. Today we're going to learn how to create, write to, and read from text files in Python. Text files are very simple. They contain the characters on your keyboard and not much else. No special characters, emojis, pictures, just letters, numbers, and punctuation marks. Usually the text files you create will live on your computer's hard drive. Finding them once they're written can be a challenge, and we'll address that in a different lesson. In Replit, the files you create are saved as part of the REPL. They'll appear in the Files column on the left. Okay, let's make a file. First, start a new REPL. Choose Python, and I'm going to call this one Files. Type in a comment to let you know what's going on here, just in case you forget. And let's make a file. Type in my file equals open, and then in parentheses, my file dot txt, that signifies that it's a text file, a comma, and then, in quotes, W. Now, this command instructs Python to open up a file named myfile.txt and to open it for writing. That's what the W stands for. By default, opening a file in write mode overwrites whatever was in the file. It erases what was in the file and replaces it with whatever you write to it. Now that can be handy if you've updated a list maybe and you want to write the new one over the old one. But if you want to add to a file, you'd use A for append instead of W. And putting a plus sign after the A makes the open statement create a new file if it doesn't already exist. Well, let's write something to our file. Type in myfile.write, and then in parentheses, something to write. I'm going to go with 1 fish, 2 fish. Oops. And there we go. Now, Python is very strict about open files. It doesn't want to do anything other than write, read, or append, depending on how you open the file. So, we need to close the file before we can read it. That's very easy. We just do myfile.close, whoops, close, and then open and close parentheses. We need to open it again in read mode. I'm going to copy and paste line 3 by pressing Control-C and then Control-V, and we're going to change the W to an R. Got it? That's to read. Now, we can read it. Let's first put the text into a variable. So I'm going to type in contents, that'll be our variable name, equals myfile.read, and then open and close parentheses. And then print contents. Okay, I am just going to make that a little bit easier to read, and then we'll run it. 1 fish, 2 fish. We wrote that to the file up here. We opened the file with the W. We wrote to it. We closed the file. We reopened the file with an R to read. We read the file, and then we printed out the contents. Notice over here on the left, myfile.txt. If you click on it, you can see that's the file, and that's what was written to it. There is a lot more to file handling, but I've shown you the simplest ways to write and understand the code. That's it for Lesson 5. You have learned how to write a program that saves your data, lists, numbers, whatever, to a hard drive so you can get to it later. For homework, see if you can figure out how to write your fruit list to a file. It's tricky. You might want to look at the join function. I'll post the solution in the comments of the next lesson. Next time, we'll cover functions, the powerhouses of the cell. Wait, that's mitochondria. Functions are powerful building blocks that can make coding much easier. Thanks for hanging with Shared Science. Tune in again for more creative engineering fun. Not again.